Welcome to WagerTalk Today, the gold standard of sports betting shows where we talk the talk and walk the walk. Big weekend, except for England, except for the English soccer team. We were just talking about that with Gianni.
Yeah.
Tough game. How do you get up for a third place game? But we never come in third place on this show, Dan. Big show.
No, only first place. And Andy, we missed you yesterday. The folks were wondering, did Andy just have some bad Taco Bell? No, he just had a bad antifreeze gasket. So we're good to go, though, Andy. He is back, and we are pumped. It's a great Friday edition because the return of Steve Merril is here. He was on vacation. He's back. He's ready to rock. We're going to talk MLB action with him. Gianni is back as well. So we got a great way to spring into the weekend, and we will touch upon both of those World Cup games for you. But Andy, you are back, my friend, which means the WagerTalk Today play of the day is back, and you have some of your finest work in the graphics department here. What are we rocking with, brother?
Yeah, AI was crushing this one. This is the slickest graphic.
They were dialed, yeah.
Yeah, this was. I may have helped them a little bit. I was like, hey, this is Joseph Newgarden. This is his car. So yeah, we're gonna go to IndyCar Series again. For the play of the day, I'm just trying to give you guys some winners. There's not a lot of sports going on, but we love this one. This is on an oval, and this is the key. When you're on a road course in IndyCar, you're betting on Alex Palou. When you're on an oval, you're betting on Penske and you're betting on Joseph Newgarden. So he broke his foot at the Indy 500. It's affected him, but not at the ovals. It's less taxing when you're on the ovals with a broken foot. They have to keep up to keep their championship hopes alive. And all we need for him is to show. Don't be surprised if he wins. The last time we bet this, he won the race. Penske cars are just dominant on ovals. So this is very similar to what we do in NASCAR. When you're on an oval, you bet Toyota. When you're on an oval in IndyCar, you're betting Penske. So Joseph Newgarden at -120 to show is too good of a play to pass up. And this is a client play that we have put in for everybody. That's the play of the day.
You'd say auto racing, and I say yes, please, Andy. So that's all you had to do to get me. Even if his graphic wasn't amazing, which it is, I would be so in on the WagerTalk Today play of the day. So let's go, baby.
Yeah, pretty excited about it. We got a big weekend. We got 2 5% plays rocking. We got auto racing. We have bare knuckle fighting, 4% best bet. So it's a monster weekend for us and for clients. So let's bring in Gianni. We were talking earlier. Gianni, yeah, we were talking about this England team. I mean, -215 on France. If you don't pay the juice, like what does Teddy say? You only pay the juice if it loses.
That's what this.
How does England get up for this game, Gianni? We were talking about this earlier.
Yeah, and I mean, listen, the handicap coming in is France is the play in this matchup because of the letdown for England. They were 10 minutes away from representing their country in the finals of the World Cup for the first time in 60 years, and all of a sudden, within 6 minutes, your dream just gets shattered, and now you got to show up 48 hours later, more or less, and play a France team, which is better than you already on paper. I would have needed a motivated England team just to look that way. And it's going to be hard to get that. Again, what are you playing for? And more importantly, the way that they lost that game. Personally, I don't have a bet yet on this game. I can tell you Wise Guys bet France immediately on the three-way, and they bet the over also. We all know it takes a lot more effort to play defense than it does offense, and I guess they're not expecting all that much effort from the third and fourth place teams. And they bet the over 3. That was pretty juiced. They bet it all the way up to like -140 to go over 3 instead of that 3.5. In Spain and Argentina, I haven't seen any sharp money yet so far, which is just fine with me. I'm coming off a loser the other day. I had the under 2.5 or 5%. Our totals have done so well throughout the World Cup and throughout soccer the entire year, up over 70-75%. And it just lined up perfectly. And up until 10 minutes in the game, it looked great. At 0-0, then 1-0. We looked good at under 2.5, but it didn't get there. Fortunately, my quant is getting really good at what he does. And I put out my power ratings for the World Cup before they started, and you saw what I had. Spain #1, Argentina #2, and that's exactly how this tournament turned out. I have a future on Argentina at 10-1, I have futures on Spain at 5, 6, and 7 to 1. So it's just a matter of whether I'm going to win 40 units or 30 units, minus what we hedged throughout, a couple units here or there. So we get to sit back and profit from the hard work done, a month or so ago. And that's why I love what I do. I love this market. I love markets in general, because I know I was built for this. Like, I could handle those swings. When I woke up this morning, Andy, I told you, I logged in and I saw the stock market was crashing. Like, these AI stocks have dropped 40, 50, 60, 70% in a matter of 48 hours, liquidating accounts left and right. And instead of panicking, even though I was in a handful of those stocks, I got out of a lot of them or profited already, but I saw my account drop significantly overnight, 25, 30%. You know what I did? I bought this morning. I just bought. I bought from 6:30, before 6:30, before that bell even rang. I had 14 buy orders ready to go, already in there, limit orders. 11 of them clicked and I bought, and already profitable. I'll probably get out of them by the end of the day. But markets continue to give you opportunities, but they also will take it away quickly. Like, you have to know that going in, that the ride will not be easy. As of today, just in regular markets, companies like Google, Microsoft, all those great companies, IBM, they're down how much for the year? But we ride them because they have a history of being right. And that's what you do with sports betting information. When there's a history of being right and long-term profit, those are the sources that you need to trust. And that's where I credit a lot of my success, that I didn't dump these betting syndicates because they had a losing year in baseball, or they had a losing year in tennis, or they lost in NFL. I saw they were crushing closing line value, and I knew it's just a matter of time. And again, a big round circle way of saying there's going to be ups and downs. And the good thing is you're always going to get those opportunities. Tennis, real quickly, there should be some free stuff up at WagerTalk.com. I'm originating my own tennis right now with the help of the power ratings that I get. I have now the confidence after last year's college football and NFL and going through college basketball, NBA, all that stuff, in using it and originating our own stuff. You'll see it this year in NFL and college football for sure. And it already started in tennis, and it's going well. So check those out. I gave out 2 premiums, but I gave out 5 plays. The Steam sheet's only for subscribers today, but 3 tennis plays, unfortunately, we're starting quickly. Like, we bet Tsitsipas in the men's, and then in the women's, Paula Bardoso, and tomorrow Zidansek. Zidansek's a dog. Bardosa's a favorite. It was too late to send out premiums because they were going off in like 10 minutes, unfortunately. But they didn't get through. But there were 2 premiums we did fire on. I'll share them with you right now. Clara Towson, that hasn't started yet. I laid -110 and -115, bet her twice. And then I also, in the men's, I took Roman Burachanga at +145, +140, both 3% plays. Again, these are our own stuff. And like, so far, so good. Small sample size, but I like what I'm seeing. NFL and college football videos will be done later today. Power ratings. I've power rated. Dude, I have all college football done, Andy. Every college football team with offensive power rating, defensive power rating, strength of schedule, win and loss projection, and their exact rating, and did it for NFL as well. I'm going to share the top 10 in both in videos later today. With that said, if you want to go over Steam, I know we've gone long. I've gone long.
You're fine. No, you're fine. You mentioned the markets. We went 7-2 at Wimbledon, all doubles.
There you go.
We didn't even look at singles. Wanted to look at singles, wanted to fade Serena Williams, but yeah, you're right. The markets give us so many opportunities. It's our job to figure out how to take advantage of it. So what are we seeing in MLB for the Steam?
All right. A lot of Steam, but I haven't released a single premium. Now, I do asterisk those leans that I feel strongest about in the Steam sheet, and I only asterisk 2 today. One side, that's 970, the New York Yankees at plus 105 and even money. They're now favorite, so I couldn't fire. I didn't get that conviction yet. And then a total, the over 10 in San Diego, Kansas City. It's 10.5, and I just can't get there. Like, I'd lay up to minus 125 to get over 10, but I don't see enough of them out there to fire any premium. Other stuff that's in the accounts, and what I'm seeing is they're getting out ahead of the public on a lot of these, because most of them, you'll notice, are public sides. 959 Tampa Bay plus 120 all the way down to plus 110. 964 Toronto minus 120. 966 Houston even money. 967 Detroit minus 105. 974 Atlanta minus 195. Now totals, same thing. Got out ahead of the public because most of these are being bet by recreational bettors as well. 967 under 8.5 Detroit LA. 974 under 8.5 Texas Atlanta. 975 over 10 Minnesota Cleveland. And 979 over 9.5 Washington and the Athletics. Nothing, only in Summer League. I released a premium in Summer League. I got one total with conviction, but the line moved on me. 579 under Chicago Cleveland. They went under 176.5, under 175.5. I wasn't going to take 74.5 or 73.5, but I kind of did agree with it. They're betting a lot of Summer League action, but I'm seeing a lot of Summer League middles as well, because books are afraid of this and they're moving significantly. And anytime they know they could move the market significantly without a lot of money, they're going to set up a lot of middles and scalps. And that's why, if you're monitoring line moves to determine Summer League bets, be selective, because a lot of those line moves are created for the purpose of setting up nice middles, setting up scalps even. So that was Summer League action. WNBA, Connecticut plus 5.5 and 631 over Seattle, Indiana. The one lean I had, and they did bet it, but the total moved too quickly on me, and that's 634 under Connecticut Phoenix. They went under 164.5. I agreed with that. Not enough conviction to fire a premium. Again, staying selective, because we got NFL, college football right around the corner, followed by college basketball, NBA, NHL. All those sports going to offer us more than enough opportunity to close out 2026 strong. So no reason to run into today, especially with baseball. These guys are coming in off a break, and I think they need a few days before they get back into that rhythm where you could look at the data and expect them to play like the data reflects. Where a day like today, it's kind of like Sunday was, where you couldn't trust it. You know, half of them were already planning their vacations. Where are they going for break? Half of them didn't have anything to play for anyway. Their teams are out of playoffs. So a lot of that you got to deal with in the second half of baseball. But again, it'll give us opportunities for sure. You'll be forced to bet some bad teams in the second half. Don't be afraid of it. And we talk about it here all the time. You can't bet favorites in baseball and make money. It's very hard to do.
All right, let's talk UFC. I got to be honest, UFC is kind of the word on the streets, as the kids are saying, that this isn't a very good card. I got to tell you, I think they did pretty good coming off White House card and then UFC 329 last week, which was an absolute banger. I think they did pretty good with this one. But just a reminder to everybody, Contender Series is August 11th. We're less than a month out. So what you're seeing is UFC. This is, and Gianni, you can back me up on this. This is the time of year where UFC starts making cuts. Who are we going to keep? Because we got to open up some roster spots for these Contender Series guys coming in. So there's a couple guys on here
with their back against the wall.
Chase Hooper's been knocked out in the first round in 2 straight. He doesn't look that great. There's a couple of them on here. I'll go over a couple. I love Ko over Lebesnoyani. I love Lebesnoyani, but he's not a grappler, and Ko is going to take him down and hold him there. Minus 205, I think, is a fairly decent price there. Stuart Nickel, this is a guy on his way out. He's going to get beat and he's going to be cut. That's going to open up a roster spot. And then we got this. Have you ever seen a fighter on The Ultimate Fighter lose, and then immediately get a UFC fight. That's what they're doing with this Ana Milazano, and I think Barbosa is going to make mincemeat out of her. What are you seeing on this card?
Yeah, and that line reflects it with Barbosa up to like minus 700, and that's at the sharp books. So yeah, I think she's definitely the right side there. I'm a little bit surprised, I'll be honest with you, on the Usman money coming in. Obviously, the early money that came in is all sharp. No recreational bettors are tying up their money June 28th, June 29th, July 3rd for the UFC taking place, in Oklahoma City on the 18th of July. So that Usman money was sharp. A little bit surprising against Duplessis. Like now that he's down to a minus 230, that line's a little bit surprising for me. Like all of a sudden, like Usman's not just getting sharp money, but I'm seeing a lot of arguments from even recreational bettors like in Usman as a live dog here. Again, he's an elite guy, but I think his time is probably, his best years are definitely behind him. Where I think with Duplessis, you're catching a guy who's like in his prime, more or less. This window is as good as he's going to get. So I don't trust that sharp money on the Usman side. A fight that did stick out at me at the bottom of the card, and it's Damian Anderson. The only reason I haven't fired is I'm trying to understand why he's not a 2-1 favorite against this Ezra Elliott kid. Now he opened at plus money, and sharps bet Anderson right away. Made sense because, like I said, he should be a 2-1 favorite. He got bet up to minus 150, 160. Exactly what he's supposed to do. But since then, it's been nothing but Elliott money. So I'm trying to figure out, like, is there issues in camp, issues with the cut? I mean, is it just the matchup doesn't suit him? Because everything on paper that I look at has Anderson as a 2-1 favorite against Elliott. So that's a little bit surprising to me. And then the co-main event with Roy Duncan being such a big favorite against Cannonier. Again, granted, I think he should be about a 3-1 favorite in this spot, but a 4-1 favorite against Cannonier. I know this is the tail end of Cannonier's career, and he's lost 2 out of his last 3 or 3 out of his last 4. But he just fought a tough fight against Michael Venom Page, where he went to a decision. He finished a red hot, Gregory Rodriguez in the fight right before that, and that was Rodriguez's only loss. He's won 4 straight since then, 3 or 4 straight. I just think this price is way too high. Just an opinion, haven't fired yet, but those are my thoughts. I think Duplessis at that price now where it's discounted, surprisingly. I think Cannonier at that high of a dog offers a little bit of value against a dangerous Duncan. And I think if Anderson's healthy, he should be a 2-1 favorite, and we're getting a really good deal on this kid because, again, short career, obviously, UFC debut, but everything I've heard so far is this kid's legit, and he's a world-class grappler.
Yeah, I don't know why these guys aren't on Contender Series, but just going to throw them in the UFC. I got to be honest, Gianni, public money coming in on Usman, great. For me, one of the things that really has helped turn around our UFC year, because we were terrible at the beginning and now we're on a really nice 14-5 run, 5% that is up. That's how well we think we're seeing it, is when we're on the opposite side as the public. I think the public's just getting absolutely massacred this year in UFC. Look at look at last week, Conor McGregor. Look how much money people bet on Conor McGregor. The guy couldn't last.
Do you know that was the most heavily bet mixed martial arts fight of all time? All time. Like that attracted more money than any other fight ever. And I'm pretty sure that's boxing included, like any combat sport. That fight attracted that much. And it goes to show you, please, no, this is not a disrespect, because if you have another profession that you're great at and you're a parent and you have kids and you have responsibilities, you shouldn't be a winning sports bettor. We know it's something that very few people can do. It's like being a professional athlete where, less than 1% of the population is built to do that. With that said, I'm not surprised that they're getting killed in MMA, because let's just keep it real. They're getting killed in everything. Like the addition of more sports books and the legalization haven't made people sharper bettors. It haven't made them more efficient. It hasn't taught them to win. It's, if anything, it's just made them less efficient, less, like, more gamblers, and the results show it. Again, Dave Mason told us 1% of his accounts used to be profitable. Now it's about 0.5%. So more people betting, less winners. Again, it's crazy how, we shouldn't be surprised, but we are, because according to social media, it's easy. Everybody wins. Like, all you have to do is just wake up, bet sports, and you could do nothing else and live a great, life. But we all know in the real world,
nothing to it. Yeah, nothing to it, Gianni.
It's
Just
a
wake
grind,
up,
bro. It's a grind.
fire off a couple bets, live the highlight.
That's it. Just pick your 3 strongest ones every day. That's it. Just narrow it down even better to your strongest pick once a day. That's it. You just got to hit 1 game a day. If you go 4-3 for the week, you're up a unit. As long as you're betting a couple thousand per play, you can make a great living, right? It's that easy. Just do that.
Nothing to it. Nothing to it. Yeah, Gianni, we had a terrible June. Me and my team, we had we had a terrible June.
Yep.
Now we're on the leaderboard. This business is insane, man. Like the ups and the downs.
And that's going to continue to happen. But here's the truth, that you and your team 2-3 years from now, it's going to be up here. Okay. Let's say here's where you're at in the profit board. Like, overall in your career, you started here. Now you're here. You're going to be up here. But the thing is, you're not going to get there in a straight line. You're going to get there like this. And that dip is what usually wipes people out. Like, you're going to trend upwards like you've been doing, but along the way, you're going to have some sample sizes that look like you don't even know the difference between a football and a basketball. and it's just going to appear that way in a small sample of games. But when you zoom out, what you're going to see is, like all good companies, like we talked about, the Googles, the Microsofts, the IBMs. Zoom out on IBM over the last 20 years and see what that company, it's not $1 trillion company by accident. You know what I mean? Like, they trend upwards, but they don't get there in a straight line. And that fact is what liquidates more sports bettors and day traders and investors than anything else, not being able to handle the swings.
Yeah. Gianni, we're waiting for Steve Merril to log in to talk baseball. I got to tell you this podcast I listened to years ago always stuck with me. It was a guy, he started amazing.com, and he was on this podcast, and he talks about, like, they exploded right out of the gate. They had $8 million cash. And he was like, we bought an office building, we hired all these people, and we just blew it all. We did like a $500,000 advertising campaign that returned $200,000. And he's like, if I would have taken the $8 million and put it on Amazon stock, 10 years later, we would have had $78 million. Like,
let me tell you something about that Amazon stock real quickly. Do you know that only 3 people held that stock from the beginning? 3 people. Jeff Bezos' wife, and this institution I forget the guy's name that's behind it. Everyone else sold. Here's why. Because it dropped like 99% in more than once. So Amazon went like this, and then boosh, crashed down to almost nothing. And this is why all the noise was, they're not profitable. It's going to take 50 years before they're profitable. They're reinvesting all their money. No one has ever seen that before. So on paper, it looked like, dude, this is going to nothing. And those people that held, though, Bezos, right? Arguably the richest person in the world, at least top 5. Bezos' wife, top 3 richest women on the planet. And that institution, I'm sure, is doing just fine as well. They held through all those dumps, through all those drops. And again, you get rewarded for it. That's what markets do. They reward patient people. And they're designed to transfer money from the impatient to the patient, from the greedy to the non-greedy, from the scared to the non-scared. Like, that's what they're built and designed to do, man. It's more mental than anything else.
Yeah. Do you know Matthew Berry, the guy that does all the fantasy football?
Yes.
He tells this story on his high school graduation way back when. his grandmother gave him $100 worth of Apple stock, and he sold it right out of college. And he said, if I would have held on to it, he'd be a billionaire.
Of course. You know that the most profitable accounts at brokerages are held by dead people. The most profitable
true
account.
diamond hands.
Yeah, because they never sold. Like the people that
Good
held
point.
an account from like the 70s that happened to die and didn't have any heirs or anything like that. And there's been an account just sitting there. Like those accounts are the most profitable because they didn't do anything. Real quickly, an emergency happened to me yesterday. I didn't even know this was possible. My dog yesterday, his penis came out and stayed out. I didn't know this could happen. Like it came out all the way out to where they have this thing at the end of their dick that I thought it was his balls.
Technical term.
Like it wasn't. Like it came all the way out, bro. With this big slimy thing at the bottom of it. And I thought it was his balls. And I panicked and I went into Claude and I asked, and it said like bypass.
Claude's like, that's not normal.
It said, yeah, like bypass any therapy and take him straight to the emergency room. Like he could die, necrosis, like all this stuff. Bro, I swear to you, he was like dragging himself. Like, it was so weird because it was hanging to the ground, dude. And I picked him up. I ran to my car and I'm driving through Flamingo. I swear to God, like 110 miles an hour, honking at cars in front of me to drive him to an emergency hospital. And I took him in there holding him. And the lady saw it like right away because he couldn't miss it. His dick's hanging on the floor and shit.
He's a small guy.
He's like, oh my God. And I was like, what do we do? And dude, the doctor came out, took him, came back like 20 minutes later and is like, that's, that happens. I'm like, what was that? And he's like, well, what it is like it comes out and then it gets stuck. And that thing at the base wasn't his testicles. They have a muscle at the base of their penis that the female latches onto and then connects to it. And that's why they can't unlock until they finish. So like his whole dude, I've never seen anything like that it freaked me out. I swear to God, the things that I've gone through with this dog since I got him.
Jackpot.
You can't make this shit up.
Jackpot's good now, though. Jackpot's good to go. Dude,
Jackpot. I'll tell you what, that's what the nurse was like, good thing no female dogs were in here. I think he'd have had a fan club. Yeah. He's hung like a horse. Go on, Jackpot. Player.
Yeah, Gianni, something like that happened to our dog when we got him as a puppy. His dick came out. But it was winter and I wasn't home and my wife didn't know what to do. So she just put him outside. She was like, it's cold. It'll shrivel up.
That'll shrivel up.
That's smart though, because that's kind of what you have to do. That is what they do. Like they wet it and stuff because like the hairs get stuck. I don't even know. Dude, like I said, I usually go in there with him. But for that one, I'm like, you're going to have to.
Like you take him back.
Own, bro. I'm going to have to wait.
Oh my God. Oh, Jack putting the
promo code Red Rocket.
Red Rocket.
Hey, there he is. That's hilarious, man.
He's the man, dude. He's the man. I'm going to be. If your guys are watching cable news network, if you have a TV set around 3:30 p.m. Eastern, I'll be on Newsmax. Talking about prediction markets because of all the,
You're going to be telling jackpot stories over on Newsmax.
Prediction.
They want to know about that thing at the end of his shaft.
Just lead with that. Don't tell the producers. Just when you go live, just lead with that.
You know why dogs lock when they mate?
That's good stuff. You do have a promo though. All seriousness. It's tough to be serious after that, but you do have a promo. What do you have up for everybody, Gianni?
I do. And the UFC Premium Pass will be finalized today. World Cup, I'm going to give that out for free because of those futures. So I'm going to tweet, even if it's a total, I'm going to give it out for free. But we have the Steam Room tomorrow on Saturday, free for everyone. I highly recommend joining us. If you're going to be betting football, NFL and college football, I'm going to do the videos today, sharing the top 10 and teams, but I'm going to go into detail and even share the rating. So you could create your own. like I'll give you what my numbers are for the top 10, and you could take it from there. So to help create your own point spreads to compare to the betting line before you even look at it, I'll help you do that. So join the Steam Room tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern, like normal, and we'll go over all power ratings, talk a little NFL, college football futures, of course, go over the World Cup, UFC, Major League Baseball's back, and any tennis overnights that I'm gonna do a lot more tennis, but that'll be more overnight to subscribers, those smaller tournaments. And big weekend ahead. Promo is out. I know they have a special for me. Jump on board and let's do some damage. I know we've made money over the last 7 days. Hopefully and I was even with losing the 5% still. So hopefully we hit some big bets this week. And best of luck to all the rest of the week.
Thanks, Gianni. Give Jackpot a little hug from the WagerTalk.
Yeah, I gave him a little extra love yesterday, boy.
There you go. Awesome stuff. Gianni and Jackpot coming to you live on Friday. So, my God, I did not expect that.
I know you could have given me a million guesses what we were going to talk about with Gianni today, and we all learned something though. We all learned something alongside our man Gianni.
We did. So great stuff. We got a big weekend, guys. 2 5% plays that go up. I want to reiterate, we had our 5% World Cup play up about 5 minutes after the Argentina game was over. We knew exactly what we were doing with our 5% best bet. So we got a 5% UFC and a 5% in World Cup. It's the best time to use the 3 days. Get 3 days and you get 3 days free. We got a 4% bare knuckle. We're going to bring on Steve Merril. After Steve Merril, we're going to talk about I'll go over all the fights this week because we got PFL, we got BKFC, and we got UFC. But we also are going to break down Devon A-Chain over under 999.5 rushing. This is our daily NFL futures breakdown. This was submitted in the comment section. So every Friday, we're going to take a viewer suggestion and we're going to break down that future. So did you go over or under on the Browns yesterday, or did you even do it?
So we were so loaded up because we had 3 extra guests. They hopped on. So I was like, you know what? Andy and I want to make fun of the Browns together.
Let's do the Browns and Devon H.
Yeah, we'll do a 2-pack. Since we didn't have Andy yesterday, we'll do the 2-pack here at the end of the show because NFL is right around the corner. So I wanted to wait for you because I think we might be seeing this one the same way. So I didn't want to rehash,
Agree. And thanks to all the messages. I am fine missing yesterday. What happened was we took our truck in for maintenance. This is the truck that tows our stage around. They drove it 2.5 hours north. They pull off the interstate. It starts making a clicking sound and they turn the truck off when they get to the site and all the antifreeze drops out. All the antifreeze. So the place that did the maintenance did more damage than they did help. Thank you very much. It's being fixed today. So that was just infuriating. So I had to drop what I was doing because our crew was stranded up north. So everything's fine. Truck's being fixed for free. And the crew is good. And yes, on our way back, we were just like, you know what? We've all lost a day of our lives. We're stopping at a winery on the drive back. We're drinking some wine to ease the pain of our day. So let's bring in Steve Merril, though. Steve, are you? God, why do we always wear the same color shirt, Steve?
Let's go. On purpose. I hadn't been on for a few weeks, and I was like, I know I got to have the same shirt. So
this went dark color.
It's on a different side, though.
Yeah.
The right breast.
Technically different. Yeah. It's technically different.
Technically, it's the different shirt. It's similar but different. So I hadn't been on for several weeks, and I log on, and within 3 seconds, I hear him talking about his dog's Red Rocket. I thought I was on the wrong channel for a second. I thought maybe Wager Talk had been bought out, and maybe like
Animal Planet.
Like Animal Planet, exactly. And all I got to say is Jackpot was ready to pay out. He was ready to pay out. That's all I was thinking of that whole story.
That's strong. I
like Newsmax. I actually flip around, and Newsmax is like one of the 5 channels I do watch. So I'm going to have to turn that on at 3:30 to see Gianni. That's pretty cool. He's going to be on some national TV talking prediction markets.
Yeah,
and, he's a good guy, obviously, to talk to about that.
When we were in the Detroit office, Kelly was having to, shush people into different parts of the office because she was doing some hits over there on Newsmax as well. So
oh, she's on there too? Okay,
you
cool.
never
I
know what
her.
Wager Talk personalities you're going to see over there.
Awesome.
So yeah, definitely check that out, Gianni. Good shout out to our man over there. Steve, it's so good to have you back, man. Yesterday, you and I recorded an MLB video. It's been too long since we've had some Merril in our lives, my friend. So let's get right into it. You have 2 MLB games to talk about. The one I want to start with is a team that they don't see each other all that frequently. And the last time they were actually playing in New York, the LA Dodgers and the New York Yankees, it was a pretty good night for the Dodgers. There was a little bit of champagne for the Dodgers. I believe the last time these teams faced off and it was in New York. That was when they won the World Series. So, Steve, thoughts here? Dodgers, Yankees. I'm guessing something that happened in 2024 is not going to play into your handicap here.
Yeah, it's kind of a shame that they're giving us this right out of the All-Star break, right? Because we did the video yesterday, Dan and I, on the Mets-Phillies, the standalone ESPN game. And, of course, I had to come out of the break and go against his Phillies, but it was more going against one of the worst pitchers in baseball. And that played out. The Mets won outright 4-1. And one of the things I pointed out in that other New York video is that the Mets had a terrible first half, 40-57 to start the season. And I do think maybe there's some upside with the Mets going forward. But I also mentioned that whether it's the bye in the NFL or a bye week in college football or the NBA All-Star break, whenever you get like a bye or an extended layoff from the norm, I always look at that as kind of a contrarian indicator, which means teams that were red hot, probably maybe it cools them off. Teams that were struggling, maybe they reset. So it's a little bit of a shame that we're getting this game right out of the break, because post All-Star break, especially with teams that have a lot of players in the game, can be a little dicey. With that said, though, both starting pitchers have been dicey. And if you look at the overall numbers this year for Garrett Cole, a 4.0 ERA is actually not great for Garrett Cole. But then you look back over his last 7 starts since the beginning of June, it's been really bad. 5.5 ERA overall in those 36 innings pitched. He has pitched a little bit better his last 2 outings. He went 6 and 5 innings, gave up 12 hits, 5 runs. And that was actually better than he had done some of the prior games. So it doesn't look like Garrett Cole is at that Cy Young level from a few seasons ago. That actually might have been the season they played in the World Series. It might have been the year before. Sasaki for the Dodgers, not much better this year. 5.3 ERA. He was mediocre last year in just 36 innings last season, a 4.5 ERA in the majors. So I don't expect either starter to be lights out tonight. And these are 2 really good offensive lineups, even without Aaron Judge or Ohtani missing the All-Star game as well. These are 2 loaded lineups. They've been scoring runs this season, and with 2 mediocre starters on the mound, let's not overthink it. Pun intended, we'll look at the over 9 in this one, and that's a nice number because 9 is a key number in baseball, 7 to 9. I talk about it all the time. If it's 4-4, it's got to go extra innings. There's no ties in baseball, only 1 All-Star game maybe. So it's got to get to 9. So if we get to 4-4, it's at 9. I like 9 over as the play in this game between the Dodgers and Yankees. And this, by the way, is your MLB Network national TV game at 7 Eastern Friday night.
Steve, we're going to talk Texas and Atlanta, another AL-NL battle with teams that are respectively leaders in their respective divisions there. But, Steve, before that, let folks know what you have rocking, what they can find over at your page. I can't believe that football is right around the corner, and we have some great deals that people can get locked in and get some heading towards the football action.
Red Rockin', right? That's what you said. So, yes, seriously, though, we got some great – and if people watching the standalone video here have no clue what we're talking about. So
go watch Wager Talk Today.
If you're watching the free play video, go watch Wager Talk Today at about the 25-minute mark, and you'll get some education on animals from Gianni the Greek on Wager Talk Today. By the way, I'm going to be guest hosting Last Call tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern on Saturday, and I'm pretty sure Gianni will be on as well, so I get to pick his brain more after his Newsmax appearance on Friday afternoon. Nonetheless, Wager Talk does have a great buy 3, get 3 free still. Normally 3 days is $69, dude. Nope, you get 6 days for the price of 3. And it's stackable, which means you can buy multiple buy 3, get 3s before it expires here in the near future and then use them throughout the rest of the summer. So buy 3, get 3 free is a great starter package. Or if you're ready to take a more true longer-term investment approach, how about the next 6 weeks plus all the way to the start of college football, the end of August, that first Saturday, the 29th, full slate of college football and every baseball best bet until then for the next 6 weeks for just $2.99. No promo codes needed. On my page right now, Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com. And oh, by the way, bonus free baseball play tonight. Not one of the games we're talking about here. A bonus free baseball play tonight along with a strong best bet. Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com, and get there quicker, wt.buzz/SM.
All right, Steve, I alluded to it. Let's get into it with this Rangers and Braves game. I think this is a interesting matchup, especially you see Atlanta Braves a big-time favorite. It's because Sale is on the mound, and that's really the only reason other than coming out of the break. You talked about momentum this, momentum that. Thoughts here on how the Braves and Rangers shake out here with one of the better pitchers in the league on the mound tonight?
Yeah, I mean, on the surface, it's a big underdog for the Rangers, a team that on the year is 49-47, mediocre team. But the Braves have been as good as anyone in baseball. And then, as you said, Sale's been as good as pitching as anyone in baseball. And that's how you end up with a $2 favorite here. I'm actually going to look at the over-under from two different angles here with team totals, because I think the total itself is pretty much priced where it should be in this game, with an over-under currently in this one around 8 flat. But I think it's two extreme outliers one way and the other. I think Sale will pitch well. And by the way, the Rangers' current lineup has struggled against Sale during their career. In fact, this current lineup tonight has hit just 185 career against Chris Sale. Some limited at-bats, but still a really low batting average. And meanwhile, Quantrill has not had a good season. I project him to give up 3 to 4 runs and a limited probably 5 or 6 innings here. So I'd like the Braves team total over the 4.5. Or vice versa. You could definitely look at the Rangers team total under 3.5. Two different ways to attack this total. Sale on the season, a really solid 2.2 ERA and 98 innings pitched. And Cal Quantrill, as I mentioned, 46 innings out there this year. 3.1 ERA might not look too bad. But if you go back to when he was pulled out last year in August, he's made 4 starts this year. Last year, he was horrendous. He had a 6.0 ERA last year. And over the last 7 starts, going back a full calendar year now, he's got an ERA of 7.2. So while he's gotten up to a decent start so far in 4 outings this year, he's had a no decision in 3 of those 4 and a loss in the other one. I still think he's a below-average pitcher. So Braves over 4.5 or Rangers under 3.5, or play both of them, however you want to attack this game tonight at 7 Eastern.
Steve, I love it. I don't know if you noticed, Andy ran and changed while you were breaking down. A quick change. And now, look at this symmetry of the WagerTalk shirts.
He switched the logo.
They were asking. Rob makes a point here. He says, "Have we ever done it? A Who Wore It Better segment? How about for today? Let's get some comments going. Who wore it better? Who wore the WagerTalk Today shirt better? Comment below, Steve, or comment below, Andy. Include your WagerTalk username, and I will choose a winner for a free 3-day flex pass.
I'm gonna choose the winner for you. Andy is. You can see the W. Like, you can't even see it on my shirt. I might as well have just worn a black shirt because you can't see the logo. Steve Merril is covering up the logo.
Wait,
I'm wearing the T-shirt underneath this because I like to keep this clean.
I have the technology here. Now it's more fair. Now you can see both the logos.
Andy's still wearing it better because I got to creep up.
There we go. Who wore it better? Comment below, Steve, or your WagerTalk username. Comment below, Andy, and your WagerTalk
Andy's
username.
the correct answer. I'm taking myself out of this damn contest because
Andy all you have to do is drop the comment and your WagerTalk username, and you're entered into win a free.
I like that though. Pass. By the way, I also bet on Andy Lang in the prediction markets at 42 cents, so I have a nice payday coming. So.
Yeah, and now you can bet on Andy Lang in the prediction markets. You can bet on which flight's going to be delayed. You can bet on.
I heard about that one.
Which store is going to give out bad lettuce? You can bet on anything now, Steve.
Here's the problem, Dan. This is the problem. So I was out at the gym last night, and someone told me about the teleprompter one. I had not seen that story yet about the guy betting on the teleprompter, and he told me about the airplanes. He's a former pilot, so he told me about the flights and stuff. And what I told him was, like, the problem with the prediction markets is that they're not at risk here because a true market is a buy-sell. Like, they're just scalping the middle, They're taking that 1 to 2 cents. So they don't give a damn who wins or loses, as opposed to, like, when Porter was betting on the under-over and rebounds, it would play 5 minutes for the Raptors. DraftKings was out to hang, and I've always said, well, if they're dumb enough to put odds on something like that, they're going to get hit. That's the problem with the prediction markets is, like, there's no risk for them putting these silly bets up there. And it is insider trading because it's through the commodities exchange. It's a financial market. That's why everyone's allowed to do it. So it's an interesting situation. I felt bad for the military guy for about 2 seconds until I realized he was putting lives at risk with the Venezuela raid, because if they'd seen a spike in the market, they might have known something was coming. So as far as, like, military operations, you cannot have that because you're putting lives at danger. The airline stuff, maybe as well, I guess you could say, and teleprompter stuff a little less so. But yeah, I mean, it's the wild, wild west with this stuff right now. But hey, at least we have markets, right? I thought we were 10 years away from having an exchange, like I said, when everything became legal. So you take the good with the bad.
Steve, real quick, Andy and I have some NFL futures coming up, things like that. But I was talking with you yesterday, and I know it's not something that you handicap. It's not something that you sell to your clients, but you do have some thoughts you want to share on the World Cup final match. We got Spain taking on Argentina, Spain looking for their second ever title, Argentina looking for back-to-back titles. So I know you're going to be dialed in. I know we got to get a little sprinkle. What's Steve sprinkling on come Sunday's match?
Yeah, so like I told Dan yesterday, every year I don't really have much interest in the World Cup, and then I watch America play and I get excited, and then I end up watching the knockout round. And I love sports that matter, and that's why I love baseball playoffs, NBA playoffs, because the games matter. And I have been watching a lot of the World Cup the last several rounds, and hard not to say that Spain is not the better team coming in here. They've given up one goal the entire tournament, including shutting out France, who had been a juggernaut offensively. And meanwhile, Argentina is really lucky to be here. One of the first games I started watching was the Egypt game a few weeks ago, about a week and a half ago. And I kept that on because I knew that was going to be a monumental upset. They were 9-1 to win in regulation when they were up 2-0. And Argentina got by there. They got by their other games. They were lucky to get by England. England went into that defensive shell the second half of the game, as we often see in hockey and soccer. So, hey, look, it seems obvious to me, but I think Spain's the better team. It's a little pricey. I mean, they're definitely minus money. But I'm almost starting to feel like maybe Argentina's the public side. Everyone locally here, I've been hearing talk about, they're rooting for Messi. They want to see him go out with the goal to win it all. So I don't necessarily feel like it is obvious. I like Spain. I think they win this. I would play them in regulation. You can just play them to advance as well if you want. And the other thing I want to touch on real quick, Dan, we didn't talk about this yesterday, you and me, but the third place game has one of the best plays in soccer for decades was always to play the over in the third place consolation game because it's a meaningless game. And we talk about this a lot in the NBA games. When you get that playground atmosphere, you get less defense. You get more defense in the playoffs games that matter. The one video I came close to doing a few weeks ago was the Turkey-USA, and I was going to give out the over. And I was like, nah, I'm not going to do a soccer video because then everyone's going to get confused, think I'm doing soccer. And that game soared over. It was meaningless for both teams. Turkey was eliminated. USA had already clinched the group. Well, it seems too obvious for these games to go over, and unfortunately, the odds makers have caught on to that. 11 of the last 12 over the past 50 years have had 3 goals or more. And I briefly saw 2.5, like over minus 190. Others have over 3, minus 150, even 3.5s out there. The majority of the games have landed exactly on 3. But once again, it'd be over or pass for me in the consolation game on Saturday between England and France. And you also got to wonder about England's mindset in that game after blowing the game. France, meanwhile, was blown out from the start. France a pretty heavy favorite for that reason. But maybe an exact goal scored at 3. I haven't checked what that pays out, but that's been the way these third place games have played out historically.
There he is, Steve Merril. Even when he's not selling on the pitch, he's watching, and he's locked in on the
Don't
pitch.
Tell anyone. I'm watching soccer, Andy.
We won't divulge, Steve. But hey, it's great to have you back, man. We'll have you back here in the rotation. I know the folks are happy to have you back. Comment below, Steve or Andy. Include your WagerTalk username. You're entered in to win a free 3-day Flex Pass. Steve, thank you, my friend. Best of luck.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it. WT.buzz/SM, where you can grab the best bets there, Andy.
All right. Let's do here. I'll do fighting. I'll do the fighting.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff here real quick. We'll blow through this real quick. I have BKFC and UFC breakdown videos on the Winning in the Shadows YouTube channel. So if you want the full breakdowns, myself and Jim broke down all the UFC fights. I do BKFC. I'll go through BKFC real quick, just the big fights. It's over in Italy, so it starts at 1 o'clock. And by the way, Dan, I'm going live at 1 o'clock tomorrow, and we're just running right through BKFC and UFC and PFL all in one. So I think I might be live for 10 hours, 1 o'clock all the way through. But
wow, that's true streaming. That is true streaming at its finest.
No, in all seriousness, that's how we make money. That's how you make money is the live betting. Live betting in these fights have just been fantastic. So we'll be live there. Main event in BKFC, Lorenzo Hunt, Walter Pugliese. I think Pugliesi's live in the first round. He's got this super quick jab when he steps in. But Lorenzo Hunt is a veteran. I think it takes him a round to figure out the timing. And once he does, he's going to pull away. Pugliese, not the greatest cardio in the world, but be careful. If you're betting that one, if you bet on Lorenzo Hunt, you're going to be nervous in the first round when Pugliese looks good. Co-main, Beatrice versus Papa. I actually think Papa's a little bit live as a dog. Have not bet it. I just don't really like Beatrice's style after doing the research. There's a really good -205 fighter, Danny Christie. He's lost 2 in a row against title contenders, and now he gets to fight a guy that quite honestly just sucks. This is a great bounce back spot. So -205, I think that thing's -550. And there is a generational wealth bet on this card, Dan. So people keep asking me about generational wealth bets. They don't happen very often, but in BKFC, they're happening quite a bit. And that is Dan Chapman. Dan Chapman is -440. He's going to look -80,000 against this guy. So we have a 4% best bet in BKFC. That's half price. That's over at the page. PFL, there's not a whole lot you can do with PFL. Everything's a big favorite. The main event, Johnny Eblin's -660. He should win. Co-main's -330. I will say I do like the dog Colin Loughran over Julio Arce. Arce's old. Loughran's got this big granite head. He can't get knocked out. Julio Arce is old. He got bloodied up in his last fight in the PFL debut at +142. I don't understand the money coming in on Arce. I don't get it at all. And then Biagio Ali Walsh. This is Muhammad Ali's grandson, Dan. PFL has been trying to bring him along, and it's not been going well. Like, he just hasn't progressed. He's terrible on the ground. And so finally they were like, it's put up or shut up. So they gave him a Russian that can wrestle. He's going to get washed, I tell you. And then we go to UFC. We already did that with Gianni. I like Duplessis. I like the Chase Super Ramirez not to go the distance. That's a good one. And I like Montez at +140 or Tommy McMillan. We gave that out earlier this week. So, okay, let's talk NFL futures.
Let's do it.
The Browns. Yeah, we. If you want to submit a submission, just put it in the comment section after. Every Friday we take a viewer suggestion. Today's is Devon Achane, but we got to go yesterday. Let's talk the Browns over under 5.5 wins. I'll go first. I think this is going to be a client play. They're in lose now mode. They traded Myles Garrett. Deshaun Watson is their starting quarterback. I think they're going to be underdogs in every game unless Vegas is awful. They play Vegas. Maybe teams are bad at the end of the season. There's injuries. Their offensive line, Dan, I looked this up. It's completely new. It's completely new. It's a complete rebuild. And I really do believe that it's them, the Dolphins, and the Cardinals. It's just a race to the bottom. Can we get the best draft pick ever, like this year? I looked up and down their roster, and I just don't see it. They're skill possession players. There's a lot of questions there. 6 wins would be a miracle to me. I think this has to go in as a client play, 5.5 wins. That's my opinion. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, 5.5 wins, and you run down the schedule. Where do you find 3 wins? I mean, like you said, they're not going to be favored in any game, barring maybe that Raiders game. That's not until November. Like, you could already have this team be draft pick watching by the time you get to November. You may sweat if they pull an upset in the first 3 games of the year. You got Jags, Buccaneers, and they get to play the Panthers at home. But once you're past that, man, every single team, and I would argue including the Raiders that is on this schedule for the Cleveland Browns, got better. And what did the Cleveland Browns do? They got markedly worse, especially on the defensive side of the ball. So this is a team that I think, moving on from Garrett, getting all of those pieces, awesome. It's going to hopefully reap benefits for this team that has fumbled moves like this before, Andy. But as far as this year, all right, you can take the over, Phoenix Sun Dust. I'm with Andy on the under here. Yeah, I see 3 wins, 2 wins on this schedule.
It was a smart trade on their part. The Browns finally got build for the future. This is a 3-4 year rebuild, but for this year, 5.5. I would ladder this thing under
Agreed.
4.5, under 3.5. Get some plus money there. So
Agreed.
Dan and I are lockstep. We like the Browns under 5.5 wins. So, all right, Devon Achane. Sorry, fantasy darling. But man, what do we do with them this year? This is a wild card Dolphins team. Where'd you land on this one?
Yeah, this is the number we have too, right? 999.5. So they're asking, does he get 1,000 yards rushing? I'm really looking forward to seeing your thoughts on this one, Andy, because for me, he's benefited a lot from a Mike McDaniel scheme that spreads people out. And he really, in his career, hasn't had much success when teams load the box. And why wouldn't they load the box? Well, they had Jalen Waddle, they had Tyreek Hill. And last year, it was a decent year for Devin Achane. He got over 1,000 yards, his best year of his career. However, I just don't see what wide receiver strikes fear into anyone to make you not just load the box against this team. You have Malik Washington, Tolbert, Tutu Atwell. I know that the volume will certainly be there for Achane. The work will be there for Achane, with just Ollie Gordon, Jalen Wright behind him. But is the success going to be there? I don't think so. I think 999.5 is crazy. You're asking for 1,000-yard season. Now, if we're asking for him to go all-purpose yards over, let's talk a little bit more. Rushing 1,000, give me the under on Devin Achane for me. And I am also, Andy, not too bullish on him in the fantasy aspect. I'm going to let other people grab the Devin Achane a grenade that I think might be coming this year.
I'd rather have Javonte Williams than Devon Achane.
Completely agree.
Yeah, here's my notes. He isn't going to have competition for many carries. Jalen Wright and Ollie Gordon, like you said. And yeah, you brought up he's the number one option on the offense. The wide receivers are terrible. I will say this: he's been durable. He's played 17 and 16 games. He's gotten banged up, but he's at least played in those games. Offensive line, 4 starters do return, and the offensive line was not that bad. 4th best yards per carry in the league. But you brought it up. New coaching staff, new system, and I have a lot of concerns about this defense. They are so thin. The big concern in Miami on this defense is if they get any injuries to the starters, they're in trouble. They allowed the 9th most points per game last year, and the longer the season goes, this defense could get really worn down, which means a lot of possession for the other team. I just see too many scenarios where the Dolphins are behind. Yes. And running the ball is not really an option. And here's the other little thing that we have in our back pocket for the under. What if they shut him down? We went the number 1 pick. Shut it down, Devon. Your ankle hurts. No, it doesn't. Yeah, it does. I see too many reasons to take the under here. You can get the shut it down late. Any injury, it goes under. And like you said, what wide receiver is going to need to be double covered? Like none of them. They are just going to try and take away Achane. So I'm with you. I think it's an under on this one. Too many reasons, too many paths to victory on the under.
And I like this one quite a bit. So we started the week. I was kind of lukewarm. You liked the over on Matthew Stafford. I wasn't betting any under. Roma Dunze, we both squarely went over. Javonte Williams, we both squarely went over. And now with Achane, which was a listener, submitted question for us. We're both on the under here. So you want us to break down player props, season win totals, prop bets, you let us know. Hop in the comments. And while you're down there, make sure you write the words Andy or you write the word Steve and include your WagerTalk username. Comment right after Andy and I are done right here. You're entered in to win a free 3-day flex pass. I'll let you know who wins on Monday. Steve or Andy, who wore it best? Let us know.
Yep. Awesome. We've had a couple questions about last week. Did I agree with the King Green stoppage? I thought it was close. I'm going to remove myself from the opinion because I had a bet on King Green by finish. So yes, I agreed with it. I loved it. Loved it.
I don't care about the controversy. We cashed the ticket, so screw them.
I will say this. If they didn't stop it and they let it go to round 2, Terrence McKinney was getting finished inside of a minute. He was dead to the world because it's a Terrence McKinney fight. So, all right, guys, real quick, 5% best bet in UFC, 4% in BKFC, 5% in World Cup. Just get a 3-day pass. You get 3 free days added onto it. If you get the 2 5% plays, it's $70. If you just get the 3-day pass, it's $69. There's no reason to mess around with just getting plays. Get a package. We've got auto racing up. I know people in this business take vacations around this time. Not us. We're locked in. We are locked in, and this is the time of year where it's good to build your bankroll and get ready for fall. So thanks very much to all the guests this week. Great group of guests. Thanks to Jackpot for an always a memorable, unforgettable story. Hit the like button, comment below, and good luck on your bets. We'll be back Monday to get things started for the rest of the week. Let's